Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Welcome to Data Analysis Scholarship. Can anybody hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Let me be sure that we are audible before we quickly delve into what we have tonight. All right, Eunice, thank you. Thank you. Let's confirm again. As Ignatius, you are welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Can someone else confirm? Eunice say we can hear you. Can someone else confirm if you can hear me from your end? Confirm if you can hear me from your end. Welcome, 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 welcome. As okay, wisdom, beautiful, beautiful. Name say I can't hear anything. We can't see your screen, but we can hear you. Are you serious? Wow. I can, from my end, that I can see. Can you check your phone? Can you check your phone? Please, can we confirm? Can we hear me? Can you see my screen? So I want to be sure. I want to be sure. I want to be sure so that we proceed. And at the same time, those that can hear me, see my screen, please rush to the scholarship group or WhatsApp group. Tag everyone, just tag everyone there, let them know we are live. Tonight I'm going to be starting the journey that we promised us to demystify Excel and bring us to a pro in data analysis as far as Excel is concerned. Thank you, Ifeanyi. I can hear you. I can hear and see your screen. Beautiful. So let's rush to the scholarship group and also send this link, like the live, and you can share to anyone that you know will be needing this training this night. I'm starting a journey of demystifying Microsoft Excel. And I need to state this. I know some of us on this call might have used Excel before. In fact, you might be an Excel pro or an Excel expert, where you want to refresh your knowledge or you want to refresh your idea as it stands. However, I'm going to be starting from scratch. I'm going to be starting from what Excel is, because as well I know that there are persons on this call as well who are beginners who doesn't really have knowledge about Microsoft Excel. Hence, I'm going to the ones I'm very, very much interested in this night. So let's quickly do that. If you have done that in the scholarship group, just quickly type in the chat down. We are indirectly waiting for some of them to join us. If you have done that, if you have gone to the scholarship group, we are, from my end here, I'm seeing 26 person. We are over 1/4. I want us to get at least up to half of the persons in the group. So before I proceed, let's go to the scholarship group, please, because this marks the foundation of every analytical journey in Excel. I'm going to be starting from the fresh start, from the scratch. So let's quickly go to the group, tag everyone, let them know we are live, tell them we are live, we have started, drop in the group, we have started, like this section, click the like button, and at the same time you are free, you have the freedom to share. You have the freedom to share. You have the freedom to share. Before I proceed, I'm trying to wait for some persons to join. Let's also help to do that. I'm very, very much interested about those on the live in the scholarship group. Also, if you are joining, drop your name and your scholarship ID, your location. That's much appreciated. Drop your name, your scholarship ID, your location, much appreciated. And at the same time, hit the like button on this live session. Hit the like button on the live session on YouTube. And the last time some of us was dropping our attendance in the WhatsApp group. No, it's ought not to be on the WhatsApp group. Your attendance ought to be on this live session so that we know that you are on the live session. Thank you, units. Done. Thank you for having done that. Let me get to hear from other persons. Go to the scholarship group, tag everyone, as many as possible. Drop there. We are live. We are live. We have started. Let's bombard that group with we have started. We are live. Because I'm going to be starting with what Excel is, defining Excel, and then we proceed. All right. This is 8:26. We have given 10 minutes thereabout for tonight's section. All right, what is Excel? I'm going to be explaining a bit. What is Excel? If you go for an interview and the interviewer asks you, what kind of software is Excel? What is Excel? In a nutshell, Excel is a spreadsheet application. So when you are asked, what is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet application. If you are asked, what is it used for? Or you are asked to explain Microsoft Excel, describe Microsoft Excel. Excel first is a spreadsheet application. What makes it a spreadsheet application or software is because it is designed in a tabular form. And what do we mean by tabular form? It has what we call columns and rows. It has the vertical and the horizontal lines that brings about what we call cells. So Excel is a spreadsheet application used for data entry, formatting, designing, analysis, management, and presentation, or what you can call visualization. So Excel is defined as a spreadsheet application used for data entry, cleaning, transformation, management, analysis, and visualization. So it's a data analytics tool. In fact, it's one of the highly used, in fact, the most used data analytics tool is Microsoft Excel. So having established that, having defined what Excel is, let's now go and have a ride. Let's go and have a journey and enjoy the Excel aspect. Let's go and enjoy the ride as we proceed. Now let's get into Excel. I will be moving out from here. Let me go to open my Excel. Now I will be starting by assuming that all of us, I will be assuming that all of us have installed Microsoft Excel on our PC. We have Excel installed on our PC, and right here is my Excel icon. I'm going to open it. So when I click on it, after installing Microsoft Office on your PC, Microsoft Office is, you have Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Access, Excel, Outlook, and the likes. So when you install Excel in your PC, what I did here is that I pinned it to my taskbar. I pinned my Microsoft Excel to my taskbar. If it's not here, I can get it from here. Go to Start button or Window button, click, and then go ahead to look for Excel on this aspect. This my Excel, and click on it. So, but I already have it pinned on my taskbar so that I don't go to stress myself, worry myself in order to search for it. Stanley, you are saying for note taking. Don't worry, we are not speaking too much English today. It's 99% practical. So once you click or once you open your Excel, it will bring you to this place. This is more like the area we call the back end of Microsoft Excel. The back end. Now, when you get to this point, as you get to the back end of Microsoft Excel, you click on this is blank workbook, where you start from the scratch in designing, in entering your data, transforming your data, and what have you. And these are some tutorials to walk you through. Peradventure you are newbie and you need access to internet, you see your Power Query tutorial, your pivot tutorial, and the likes. Then the next is templates. If you want to work with templates, Microsoft Excel has already inbuilt templates that you can use. If you are an absolute beginner, so you can quickly use to start with working with Microsoft Excel. This is more template. When you click on it, it brings you to this place. You begin to see different templates like this: organizational chart, seasonal photo calendar, personal budget. If we go down, other ones will begin to load. Other templates, as you can see here, we begin to load other ones. If we do to, I think network is a bit slow. Let me know if we are good. I think network is a bit slow this night. Network is a bit slow. Okay. Now, when you open up the template side, you see different templates. And your different templates: student schedule, loan and monetization, bill page checklist, different templates depending on what you want to work with. But it's not good to start with templates. It's not good to start with templates. So let's go back here. Now, the next thing I'm going to be showing us is this. Here, the recent document, Excel document you have worked with will be here. Recent document you have worked with will be here. So if you close them and open Excel, you can quickly get access to recent documents. However, when you come over to this place, we have this as favorites. Next, what we use this favorite for is in a situation where you are working on a particular data set and you don't want to be looking for it, or maybe you don't want other data set to push it down, because this place will display the first 10. I think the first 10, yes, it will display the first 10. So after the first 10, the other ones will go down. So you don't want a situation where other data set will push that particular data set down. Let's take, for example, this inferential statistics training data set. And I don't want a situation, if I open my Excel, I will be looking for it. So what I need to do is to make it one of my favorite data sets. So what I come to here to do is, you see this star. Star here means to add it to favorite. So once I click on it, automatically this Excel data set already is one of my favorites. If I close this and open it and come to favorite, is there. So if I want to add other ones, let's say this ANOVA, I want to add the ANOVA teaching park, there is favorite. If I come here, you see it. So why that is very recommended for those persons that work on multiple data sets, and they are, maybe you haven't finished on this, you say, let me leave it and attend to this one that is most present. So instead of you going to be looking for where it is, just make it a favorite data set and then off you go. That is on the aspect of this. Now let's get into the interface of Excel proper. Now before we do that, let me quickly get to this place, the account. When you click on the account, it shows you the version of Microsoft Office you are using. Excel, I'm using Excel 2021, but In this section, I encourage you, if you have, if you can, use from 2021 upwards, 2021, 2024, or Office 365. Any of them is, I recommend that for you. So what I'm using here is Office 2021. Here is where you can change your system, the Microsoft Excel color setting or theme. If you want it to be dark gray, let's say because this is night, I select this to make it dark gray and to work with it. If you want black, you see is more black in color. If you want it to be white, it becomes white. You want it to be using the system setting of colorful, it becomes this. If you want the system setting that it was, is this, depending on your choice. But tonight I'm going to make use of that gray so that it doesn't get too much on my eyes, you know. That's so that it will be very okay for us this night. All right, now having done that, let's get to home again. To get into Excel interface, we are going to click on blank workbook. Like I said, follow me this night. I'm taking it from the scratch. So those of us who have already mastered this, please bear with us. There are some of us here who have not really mastered Excel from the scratch. So I'm taking it right from the scratch. You can take notes, you can practice along with me as we progress. All right, let's click on blank workbook. So once we click on blank workbook, this takes us into Microsoft Excel worksheet. This is Microsoft Excel worksheet, or what we call Microsoft Excel workbook. Now, workbook is more like your exercise book, where you have as many sheets as possible in your exercise book. So when you get into this place, this is the interface of Excel workbook, or what we call Excel worksheet. Now let's quickly explain the interface. Let's get us to understand the Excel interface. Now Excel interface is divided into these sections. We have the title bar. We have the title bar. Here you can see is the title bar. We have the title bar. On the title bar, we have the name of the workbook, which you can see here is book 1. What that means is that if I save this document with another name, let's say I save it with Excel for beginners, what we display here will no longer be Excel for beginner. We no longer be book 1. It will be Excel for beginners. That's what will be here. Then beside it is what we call quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar, like you can see here, there are certain stuff that we make use of often, like save, undo, redo, and all that. Control Z and Control Y. Those shortcuts, those quick stuff we can really do fast, we do most times, we can have them here. This is the Excel logo. Then here is the search button. Here is the search bar, which is one of the added features, I think, from Office 2016 thereabout. I think from Office 2016, you will be having this search button or search bar here. And what is this search bar? If peradventure there is a function you are looking for in Excel, there is a function, there is a tool you are looking for in Excel and you don't know where it is, you don't know where to locate it, but you know the name, you know where it, you know the name, you know the spelling, you can quickly come here and search for it. Let's say, for example, I don't know where to get VLOOKUP, and then I search for VLOOKUP, for example. So you see, automatically brings up stuff for me. When I click on it, it will take me to that aspect, brings it out for me so that I can perform my VLOOKUP function. So that is one of the use case of this search bar. Then here you can sign in into your office. I haven't signed in for this section. I didn't sign in. Then here you have your minimize, your restore, and your close. Also, if you're on the internet and you are connected to Office Cloud, you can share real time. You can share with your colleague in real time, so that both of you can be discussing, seeing the screen in real time and exchanging data in real time. That's this share. Then after that, we have this called the tab bar. This is my tab, the tab bar. I'm going to type it here. The tab bar. That's, let me bring it, let me zoom in a bit so that we can see it. Now this is the tab bar, where we have the file tab, the home tab, insert tab, draw, page layout, and so on and so forth. Now this is the tab bar. Under the tab bar is what we call ribbon. Ribbon. That's under the tab bar is what we call ribbon. Now ribbon replaces menu. In those days, years back, if you are using Office 2023, 2027, I think so, you will be having what is called menu. Menu is something like this. It displays vertically. When you select something, it disappears, and that becomes a bit tiring. So innovation comes to put this ribbon. And what is ribbon? Ribbon displays the function of each tab. In this home tab, these are functions under the home tab. Ribbon, under the ribbon, displays the function. Ribbon displays the function of each tab. So on the tab, under the ribbons are separated into groups. I know why I'm explaining this one after the other. For ribbons are separated into groups, or put into groups. Here we have the clipboard, the paste, all these format, painter, cut, and that. This is the clipboard group. Under this, we call this the font group. As you can see, the line that separates them. This line separates clipboard and font. This line separates alignment and font group. So under font, you will be seeing both the italicized, the font style, the font size, the font color, the font color, the increase font, increase font, decrease font, and the font outlines, cell borders, and the likes. That's under the font. So each in group, in ribbons are separated into groups. Like this is number groups, this is style group, this is cell group. If we come into insert tab, we will see the same thing being separated into groups. So that is what we have. The tab bar, the ribbon, which displays the function of each tab. Then below it is what we call name box. This we call it name box or cell address. Below it we call it name box. Name box or cell address. I think that spelling is correct. Name box or cell address. That's what this is. What is name box, or what does it do? Name box or cell address, okay, displays the, I will explain what active cell is. Name box shows the name of the active cell. The name box shows the name of the active cell. And what is active cell? Active cell is that cell that allows one to input data into Excel. Active cell is that cell that allows one to input data into Excel. And we have one active cell per time. We can't have two active cells at the same time. No, in Excel worksheet or spreadsheet, we have one active cell per time. We have millions of cells, as you can see. What is a cell? A cell is made up, a cell is a combination of columns and rows. As a cell, which this, not Excel, this is cell. Cell or cells. A cell or cells, cell is singular, cells is plural. So cell is a combination of columns and rows. Remember, I said what makes Excel a spreadsheet is because it's made up of columns and rows. And in Excel, from A, B, C, D, and so on is regarded as columns. In Excel, the alphabets are regarded, the alphabet headings are regarded as columns. I know why I'm taking my time to do this. Are regarded as columns. Why the numbers sides, why the numbers, when I mean number, not anywhere, not when we type number, I mean these ones, alphabets are columns, the numbers are regarded as rows. So in Excel, what makes Excel a spreadsheet is because of the columns and rows. And cells is made up of the combination of columns and rows. So what is the name of this cell? This is the active cell. As you can see it, an active cell is that cell that have a thick outline. There are other ones have outline, but this one thick outline. And I said we have one active cell per time. So when you look at it, it says here B6. What does it show? That this active cell is under the column B and row 6. So the intersection of column B and row 6 is what gave birth to cell B6. Alright, I hope that is understood. Then after that, we have this which we call formula bar. Most cases where we enter our formulas and then also displays, it displays whatever is in the active cell. It displays the formula in the active cell or the data in the active cell. So if I click on this, you see that it displays what is in this active cell, which is name box or cell address. So that is the formula bar. Then after that, we have also talked about what is this. Here is from this place, all this place, all of it is what we call Excel worksheet or spreadsheet. It's what we call Excel worksheets. That's where we do our work. Enter our data, analyze our data. That's where we do it. Excel worksheet or spreadsheet. So that's everything here. So that's why when you get down here, you see it's called sheet 1. This is the name of the sheet we are in, sheet 1. So everything here, if we move down, go up, go forward, come back, everything here, all the cells in this are what makes up the worksheet or the spreadsheet. That's what makes up the worksheet or the spreadsheet. All right, I'm taking it gradually, slowly. Now, this is what we call the navigation bar. The navigation bar. So this we call this the horizontal navigation. Here, this is the vertical radar, vertical navigation. This is the horizontal navigation bar. Then this plus, this is sheet 1. If you want to add sheet 2, sheet 3, as many sheets as possible, we make use of this plus sign here. As you can see, it displays new sheet. So if I click on it, it will add another sheet which says sheet 2. If I click on it again, it adds another sheet for me which is sheet 3. Alright, Now, then here is the zoom panel where you can zoom out. If I'm clicking on the minus, I'm zooming out. If I click on the plus, I'm zooming in. So that when I zoom in, so that you can see it much better. That's what this is used for. And having done that, I have explained the interface, the Excel interface. And what you can see here is the status bar and all that. So I have explained the Excel interface. I have explained the Excel interface. Now, having done that, the next thing we will be looking at is basic Excel data entry and formatting. I'm going to be explaining that basic data entry and formatting. Now, if you click on a particular cell, once you click on it, you can start entering any details, any data into that particular cell. Mind you, whatever you type is for this cell alone, no matter the length. For example, if I type here data analysis scholarship, course, whatever the length, no matter the length of what is here, is for this cell C3. So the fact that is split over the other ones doesn't mean that what we entered or what we type is for both C3, D3, E3, and F3. No, it's for only the cell C3. Now, how do you know? If I click on C3, you will see the stuff display in the formula bar. If I click on D3, you will see that in the formula bar is empty. The formula bar is empty. Hence, it's telling you that whatever you typed here is only in this cell. Just that the space, the cell width, that's what we call it, the cell width cannot accommodate this. For now, based on the width, we can extend it, and we are going to get to that as well. So this is text or character. Now in Excel, when you enter a text, when you enter a character, it aligns to the left. For example, if I type A here and hit enter, if you want to move down, for example, you type A and you want to move down, you hit enter. If you want to move forward, you hit the tab key on your keyboard. On your keyboard, if you want it to move down, you hit enter, it moves down. If you want it to move forward, you click your tab button or your tab key. On your keyboard, there is a keyboard that you will see the name tab. So in Excel, when you enter anything that is not numeric, let me put it that way, non-numeric data, it will align to the left. If you enter a numeric data, let's say I type 1 here and hit enter, it aligns to the right. Someone might ask, what if I enter A1? If this is not numeric, if I hit enter, you see, it aligns based on the left. Now someone can say, okay, what if I type 1A? It's no longer numeric, it's still the same thing. So once it's numeric data, it will align to the right. Once it's non-numeric data, it aligns to the left. I know why I'm explaining these things a bit in details. All right. Now, having talked about the entry and how we know the numeric and non-numeric entries in Microsoft Excel, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is The next thing I'm going to be talking about is how to rename your sheet. How to rename your Excel sheet or your Excel worksheet. For example, this is sheet 1, this is sheet 2, this is sheet 3. And let's say I want to call this Excel 101, for example. So what do I do? There are two ways you can do this. Either you come here and double click on sheet 1. When you double click to highlight it, once you double click, you highlight it, I can now type Excel 101. And once I'm done, I hit enter. I have renamed this sheet. Here, if I want to name this sheet Excel 102, for example, I'm just using that code. Excel 102, for example, there are another way you can do. You can right click here and go to rename. So once you click on rename, it will highlight, you give it the name Excel 102 and you hit enter. That way is already renamed. Now let's take, for example, you want to add color, use color separation to also draw more attention and make it so to draw more attention and make it more presentable and to add more flair, more presentability to it, you can just right click here, go to path color. On the path color, let's say you want it red, you select. When you move out, this becomes red. Right click on this, tab color, let's say you want this color blue. When you move out, it becomes blue. So that's how you can rename your sheet and then add color to it. That's how you can rename your sheet and add color to it. All right. Now, having gotten to that, some persons might say, okay, sir, how do we do this one now? This one that is in this format. How do we do this to ensure that all of them are in the same cell, to see that all of them are in the same cell? Let's take, for example, this is data analysis scholarship course. And here I now type Excel. I now type Excel for beginners. For example, now as you can see, because I have typed something here, this already have removed. We are not seeing what is here. I can now say, okay, here I'm putting Excel 101. Now you see that when this happens and nobody really understands what is happening here, and someone will say, okay, why can't we make it so that the person's reading it should be able to see exactly what is here? So how do we do this? I'm going to show us 4 ways. I'm going to show us 4 ways in which we can achieve this. I'm going to show us 4 ways in which we can achieve this. The 4th one, some of us might have used this, some of us might have not used it. Some might have used it, some might have not. So I'm going to show us the 4 ways to do it. The first is to come in the line, this, as you can see this line here, the line between C and D. That's because when we are typing from left to right. So the one we need is this line here. When you get to that line, see your cursor is in this plus pattern. If it comes here, it shows a down arrow. When I get to that line, you see it shows this kind of cross. It shows this kind of cross with forward arrow and backward arrow. As you can see, it shows a cross that has forward arrow and backward arrow. So one of the first we do is what we call manual fitting. Manual fitting. Manual fitting is where you click, hold, and then drag. You drag it to the point where you are satisfied. Let's say I'm satisfied to leave it here. So once that is done, you see that the whole test is visible. But like I said, it's called manual fitting. Manual fitting is the fact that you are the one that drags it to the size or to the length or the width size you want. If you decide to leave it like this, it will stop there. That's what we call manual fitting. We call it manual fitting. So what can we do if we don't want to use this manual fitting every time? Imagine it's not only this one. Imagine you are working on a large data set and this, you have all this, you import the data and all of them are not fitting in. The column headers are not fitting in. Don't worry, as we progress, we will be getting to know some of these terms. So are you going to be doing them one after the other? Stretching them one after the other. This one is not okay. You stretch and then, this is too much. You now come to stretch back and all that. No, that will take you time. That will take your productive time. So one of the ways you can do that is by using auto-fit. Auto-fit. One of the ways you can do that is by using auto-fit. Now once auto-fit, come to this point as well and double-click. When you get there, you double-click in quick succession. Not you double-click by clicking one and then you wait and click two. No. Quick succession, you double-click. Immediately it gives it the auto fit. We call it auto fit. Excel will automatically give it auto fit. Now if we do the same here, that will be a very big challenge for us. So that is the second way you can do this. Another way you can do this is what we call, for this one, is what we use in RAP tests. I think this, is it this one? Yes, it's this one, RAP test. You use RAP test. However, RAP test, you need to be careful how you use it, because sometimes you will still need to use the manual fit to do that. Now what do I mean? If I click on this and go to this place and click RAP test, you see what it does. Once you say Excel for, because this beginner is not, the beginners it seeds this width, it brings the other ones down. So it makes it look a bit confusing. So I can remove the RAP test. Now come to this, shift it small so that I have something like this, example. So I can now say this. You see, this becomes okay for me. Now I can still come here. Now beautiful for this is not, we don't only increase the width only. We can, or the column rather, we can also do that on rows. So when we come here, when we come here and we can drag this up and it sets very well for us. It sets very well for us. That is the third way which we can make the text to display inside the cell. Now another way we can make the cell to display is that, let's say I extend this in this format and I want to make this to display in this particular cell. What I can do is that I can come in this formula bar. In this formula bar, I can come here, click on it. When I click on the formula bar, you see it's showing me scholarship course. So when I click on the formula bar, I hold Alt. You click Alt. This is a key on your keyboard, Alt, then plus Alt and Enter. Why I put this Alt here is and Alt Enter. That's what you need to do. Alt enter. So if I come here, I can now press Alt enter. You can see that when I remove, it shows me data analysis scholarship. The course is beneath it. So if I drag this down, you can see it here. So it puts it in a way that is convenient for me. So depending if you like, you can move it this way, it displays it like this, any of your choice. So it's just that line break to break it to 2 lines like wrap text. So either way is your choice. All right, now we have talked about how we can do the auto fit, how we do the auto fit, how we do the wrap text, and then the shortcut of Alt enter. Now let's look at some basic tricks in data entry. Let's look at some basic tricks in data entry. Now let's take, for example, I'm asked to prepare a weekly report. Let's say I'm asked to prepare a weekly report. And in the weekly report, I need to have my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Saturday, for example, or to Friday, depending on the work days of the organization. Now, some persons will come to be typing Monday, move forward and type Tuesday. For example, move forward and type Wednesday, and so on and so forth. And at the time you might make mistake. That way it takes time. That way it takes time. So what do? Excel has what we call an inbuilt AI feature. It's just a bit of AI, not that it's full AI, rather it's just a bit of artificial intelligence. It has it. It has been there, not based on new Excel. It's a bit of intelligence that when you are talking about Monday, the next is Tuesday. So instead of you typing it one after the other, when you type Monday, you come to this small, you can see, let me zoom in a bit so that we can see it very, very well. You see this small square here at the bottom right corner of this cell. You will see this small square here is what we call the auto fill. We call it auto fill. It's a very powerful feature in Microsoft Excel. From today till the time you will stop using Excel, you will definitely be making use of this. It is a very, very powerful feature in Microsoft Excel. So when you get to this point, this shows like a star, arrow star, pointing upward, downwards, forward, backward. But when you get to that, it shows like plus sign. When you get to that particular autofill function, it displays plus sign like this. So when you click on it, hold and drag. The rest is history. Let's say we are talking of Monday to Friday, and you release your cursor. Once you release it, you will see that everything is set. We have, when you double click this, you see that everything is set. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you don't need to type anything. Another thing is maybe you don't want to type it fully, you want it in short form like this. You want it in short form like this, rather. You want it in short form, non this. Excel recognizes the short form as well. So when you come here and drag, it puts it in short form, non to when, to, and fry. So it's one of the features that you need to understand to use. It's not only for days of the week as well, you can also use it for the year, the months and the years. Also, it's not only horizontal, you can also drag it vertically. That way, you fill the rest You don't need to go ahead to type them one after the other. Now another one is January. Many due to time, there are other things. If you type Jan and then you drag it down, it will do the rest. If you type January full on your own, check that on your own, practice it, you will see it. When you type January fully, it will automatically bring in the rest. Okay, we are still in autofill. I'm showing us different tricks, a bit of basic Excel tricks that you will be working with as far as Excel is concerned. So let's say, for example, you want to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to bring in a serial number of 1 to 10 or 1 to 20. Instead of typing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this will take your time. Now, what if in a situation where it's 1,000, 10,000, as the case may be? Are you going to be typing it 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10,000? No. What you just need to do, one of the basic stuff you need to do, is to give Excel a pattern or a sequence or a series. Excel understands pattern. Excel understands series. Excel understands sequence. So any series, any sequence that you give to Microsoft Excel, it works with it. So let's take, for example, we have 1, 2, 3 here, and I want to generate up to 20. So what do I do? Follow me closely. I will have to come here, click and highlight the entire, and highlight this cell 1, 2, and 3. I will highlight this one, and this one. And how do you highlight? You come here, click and hold. When you click, hold and drag down. I click here, hold and drag up to this time. So as you can see, this shows, the outline shows the cell that I highlighted or the cells that I selected. So these cells are what I select. So within this, Excel is seeing a pattern. Excel is seeing a series that after the next cell is an increase of 1. The next cell is an increase of 1. So when I come to this autofill, hold and drag, it's numbering me to 20, and this is 20. I release, it will number it to 21 to 20, as we can see here. So that is autofill. You can use it to fill a series. Also, it's not just only 1, 2, 3. It's not a must you will type 1, 2, 3. I can come here and say to generate a set of even numbers. I can type 2 and then type 4. That's the only thing I need. I don't need to type another one, 6. Once I select these 2, Excel will see it that it's an increase, it's an addition of 2. So when I drag down, it gives me that sequence. It gives me that sequence of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the likes. That is on the aspect of defining a pattern or giving Excel a sequence or a pattern or a series to follow. I hope we are making progress. I'm taking it bit by bit. All right. Now, having established this, let me give us some use case. Let me show us some use case. Now, everything here, if I want to delete everything here at once, if I want to delete it, everything here, I want it to be deleted. Instead of coming to be deleting them one after the other, or coming to highlight them and then delete, I will just come to this place. Follow my cursor, please. Follow my cursor. I will just come to this place where you see this space between A and 1. This particular space between A and 1. When I click on it, that is to select the entire sheet. I'm selecting the entire sheet. So once I click on it, you can see the entire sheet is selected. So the next thing I do is to locate my delete button. To locate my delete button, and I press delete. Everything is gone. I have deleted every stuff that I have there. Okay. Let me bring them back to kind of. All right. Now, that's how you can delete all. Another way is to press Ctrl A. But to press Ctrl A, let me press Ctrl C. For example, now I have this. Now, if I press Ctrl A, you see what Excel does. Excel first of all select these ones. So I don't want to come and press Ctrl A and press Ctrl A again. If I press Ctrl A, you now select entire one. So I don't want this. All I want is just, I come here, select on it, highlight all of them at once, and then I press my delete button. That's all. That's what I want to do. Now, that is on the aspect of selecting on and delete. Now, let's take, for example, what is the last number? What is the last row in Microsoft Excel? Let's say you are asked, what is the last row? Or how many rows are there in Microsoft Excel? You might be asked, how many rows are there in Microsoft Excel? To get to know how many rows are there in Microsoft Excel is you to press Ctrl down arrow. Ctrl down arrow takes you to the last row in Excel. Ctrl down arrow. To get to the last cell in Excel is Ctrl down arrow. That's Ctrl down arrow. So that's what you use. So if I'm here and press Ctrl down arrow, you see it takes me down to the last row in Excel, which is 1,048,576. Now, someone might say, okay, what of the last column? Here we can get and say Ctrl forward arrow will take us to the last column in Excel. And this is the last column. The last column in Excel is XFD. XFD. And hence, this active cell here becomes the last cell in Microsoft Excel. Remember, on Tuesday when we were talking about data analysis tools, we talked about some limitations of Excel. We said that Excel are used for small and medium data sets. Why? Because it's limited in number. So this is one of the limitations of Excel. So here is the last cell. You are entering data. Once you enter data in all the cells and reach here, there is no other space. This becomes the last cell in Microsoft Excel. So that is on that. Now, another shortcut, another tips or tricks in Excel is, let's say for example we are here and we want to quickly return to A1, the first cell. We are here and we want to quickly return to the first cell. What we do is to press Ctrl Home. To return to the first cell is simple. You press Ctrl Home. That's Ctrl Home. That's what we press. So if you are not just here, anywhere you are on this spreadsheet, once you press Ctrl Home, it will take you to A1. So when I press Ctrl Home, automatically you see it takes me to A1. Ctrl Home automatically takes me to A1. And these are your way, briefly, you can move around into Excel. All right, we are moving forward to Microsoft Excel. Now let's now look at some fonts which we know in basic Microsoft Word. Let's explain them and we progress and we proceed. Here is the bold. When you click on this, you see it bolds. So you don't need to highlight. Let's say I type Excel here. You see this is If I click on this, nothing happens, as you can see. So I need to click out and then just select. What I did is to select this cell. So once I select this cell, any action I did will be applied to the data or whatever is in this cell. So if I come here and say bold, you see it now bold. If I click italicize, you see it's italicized. If I select underline, it's underlined. If I come here and change a font, and let's say I select Times New Roman, you see the font changes. Here is to increase the font size, as you can see, which I don't normally use this. What I use is this. This is to increase. If I click on it, it will increase. If I click on this, it decreases. Now the difference between this one and this is that for this, the highest it can go is 72. And for this, the least it can go is 8. But if you are using this one, you can go higher than 72. When you are clicking on it, as you can see, you can go higher than 72. Okay, that one works in Microsoft Word, forgive me. It works in Microsoft Word. So this is the least you can go here, both of them. But in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, you can go beyond 72, you can go below 8. In Microsoft Word, that I'm confusing them, I'm confusing the two. Now, for this one, this bucket you are seeing here is to color the background of the cell. If you want to add color to the cell background, you come here. So this, when you click on this, you see is in two ways, or is divided into two. This particular option here is divided into two. This one will apply the yellow color. Any color you see below it, that's what it will apply. So if I click on it, you see it applies yellow. If I don't like the yellow, I can now select this arrow down and click on it. I can select black, select this, select any of this color. Any of this color. Let's say I select this, or I select this, any of this color. Then this one is font color. This is to color the cell background. This is to color the font. So here, if I click on the A, it will make it red. But let's assume I don't want the red. I click on the arrow and select white. So if I don't want the underline, I can click back here to remove the. It comes at the middle. It comes at the middle. There is an equal space between this and this. So that's what the middle alignment is. If I want it to be at the top, I click on the top, it moves top. So that's what this is for. Then this for indenting, increase and decreasing. All right, I'm going to be getting to this place. Let's take, for example, I want to give a certain heading. I'm designing a data set and want to give a heading, except for beginners class. I want to make it a heading. So I can decide, let me delete this. And okay, now remember, as I highlighted and deleted this, the color still remains. So if I want to remove the color or any formatting, let's say here I have this active, have this active, have this active, and then I want to remove any formatting on it. I will come over to this format. Okay, not this one, this, and say clear format. So once I clear any formatting, be it color, be it alignment, be it, this will be removed. Now let's say I want to have a heading of Excel for beginners class. I decided to select this, all these cells. Remember, I selected all this range of cells. And I want to merge them into one. I want them to be merged into one. So once I select them, I will come to this place. Click. You see this merge across, merge and center, merge cells on merge. I always use merge and center. So once I click on it, you see all the cells, this cell becomes one. Let me add color to it. You see it becomes one. Let me make it this color. So if I type Excel for beginners class, you see it's inside one cell. So I can make it middle, I can increase the font, I can bold it, whatever I want, it becomes my heading. I can put other things, maybe the attendance, except for beginners class attendance. I can come here and say x.id, scholarship ID, name, what have you. I can now say, I can put here first name, then move tab, put last name, put location, for example, and then maybe this is what I need, or maybe first name, last name, location, maybe I add profession on it, and what have you. And then maybe here I add gender, for example. So it becomes my table. I'm putting up the headings of my table. So why I did this is to use it to show us what this is for. Excel merge and center, where you can do merge and center, merge across, merge cells. You can merge cells, but merge and center means automatically when you are typing something, it's already at the center. All right, now let's explain this number formatting as we move forward. Here, if you want stuff, a number, let's say, let's say for registration for this data analysis scholarship course, let's say 3,500 for non-core members, and I want to assign the Naira sign to it, or the currency sign. I can come here and click. If I click on this, it gives it the dollar sign. But some of us might say, dollar sign is Naira, is not dollar. That's where you can come over to this point. Here, number format, click on it. When you click on it, you go to currency. On currency, you come to this place symbol. You click the drop down and then begin to search. You search for Naira. So once you click, you begin to see different Naira we have. All of them are the same. All are the same, is just to recognize diverse ethnic groups. So you see this Fula, Hausa, Ibibio, Igbo, Kanuri, Yoruba. If you select any of them and then you say OK, automatically it changes the currency to Naira. So here is the apply format. Here I can apply percentage. If I click on it, percentage is already in percent. If I'm typing 5%, automatically it displays 5%. Now this is comma, that's number separator. What do we use it for? Let's say, for example, I type 1 million. And somebody might be looking at it is a bit, is it 1 million? Is it this? Maybe the person eyes is not really, is this 1 million? To make it easier, you come here, you click on the cell, and you come here and click on this comma separator. So you see automatically it assigns the comma separator for each 1,000. It applies that for us. So as we progress, we will be learning conditional formatting, tables, and cell styles as we progress right on this particular data analysis scholarship. Someone is saying my voice is breaking. Can only other person confirm? Can someone else confirm? Can someone else confirm, please? Is it from my end or from his end? Blessing said my voice is breaking. Can someone confirm? Can we hear me clearly? If you are yet to subscribe to the live session, kindly do so. Kindly do so, and then let me hear you. Wow. Okay, some persons are saying network, maybe is their network, because someone says the voice is good here. Some say your voice is clear enough. Some says we can hear you clearly. Okay, I proceed. Okay, I'm taking it from the scratch, which is one of the things we say we will do. All right, now, having established that, explain basic of this. As we progress, when we start working with functions, doing some formulas, we begin to know what this, we can use all the auto sum here, the sum average, we can use it for them. Here, like I said, is to clear formatting. Now here, if I select this and come here and say clear format, you see every formatting I added here is clear. This becomes the normal stuff. Thank you for that feedback. It's okay for them. So this is to clear formatting. When you do something wrong and you want to clear formatting and start afresh, you come here, select and clear format. If you want to clear all, everything goes. Everything goes. But if you want to clear the formatting you assign to it, you come here, you clear format. You want to clear content, that we proceed. All right. Now, having established that, I'm going to move straight to Excel tricks. Or let me move straight to Excel tips and tricks. Basic Excel tricks. While working with Microsoft Excel, we need to understand. So let me open a data set. I have explained basic stuff I need to explain here. So let me open a data set to begin to show us the basic stuff in Excel. Let's say can I use this? Okay, let me check. I have used this data set before. We are going to still use this data set as we get to Excel functions and formulas. We are going to use it, but I want to use it to explain certain things as we work with Excel. Now, let's take for example, as you look at this data set, as you can see this data set, if one of the first tricks I want to show us this night, is what we call free space. Now let's take for example, you want to move down. As you are moving down, you no longer know, or you no longer understand each of these columns, what they represent. For example, here, as we can see here, let me add a bit of color to it so that we see clearly. Now, as you can see here, each of them represent stuff, product ID, date, zip, units, and so on and so forth. And we are moving down. This is a bit of large data set. We are going down. And as we move down, we begin to understand that we don't really look at this and know what it's for. Okay, because this is a table. Let me do something here. Don't worry, I know I will explain. Don't worry, I will explain. Okay, now when you go down, you are not seeing what the header is. So what do you want to do? Let's say, for example, I want a situation whereby if I'm moving down, I still need to see the column headers so that to know where I am. So what do I need to do? I will have to use what we call free space. I'm getting more persons saying it's breaking, which is, I'm no longer sure is it their network. I'm getting more persons saying it's breaking. Someone is saying it's cracking at some point. The person is saying the voice is breaking, not hearing the whole words. Okay. Please try and check your network as well. Try and check your network. Please try and check your network as well so that we confirm that it's not from my end. Okay. Now, what we need to do is to use freeze pane. Now, I want to freeze from this place up, because what I want to be seeing, what I need to see is the column header. If I'm moving down, I want to see the column header. So I will come to 8 and click. When I click on 8, I'm selecting everything. I'm selecting the entire row. I'm selecting the entire row 8. So once I do that, I will go to view. I will go to view. Now under view, you will see this option called freeze page. Click on it and then select freeze page. So once you do that, you will notice there is a line, that a kind of thick line. If we move further, you can notice this thick line here. You can notice that thick line. So once you do that and then move down, you see as we are now moving down, this one remains static. So I can quickly get to the last data set. This is a kind of large data set up to 5,000 something. As you can see here, this is 5,636 row. So it's more than 5,000. It's more than 5,600. So for us to see the last, I want to ensure that this row, this up, I'm still seeing it. That is the first trick you will want to learn. Or a situation whereby I'm going to be ending this very soon and then complete this exam beginners on Friday, which is, I think, Friday. Is it Friday? Yes. Friday, that's tomorrow. I'm going to be ending soon to complete this tomorrow. I want us to understand the interface and some basic tricks. All right, let's get up. Now, I press Control down to come down here, Control up to take me to the, you see where it is there now, to take me to revenue. Now, having done that, if I begin to scroll up or use my navigation bar to move up, it takes me up here. That's on that. Will you say we can hear you, sir? is their network. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now let's take for example, imagine that I want to perform a calculation. Imagine I want to perform a calculation. I want to perform calculation. Let's say I want to sum up the entire revenue. I want to sum all the revenue here. I come here and then I want to sum all the revenue here. I begin to select it and drag down. Imagine how long it will take me. I haven't gotten to 1,000. I just got to 1,000 and we are still heading to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Imagine the time is taking me. So with this, it will take a lot of time. Imagine the time is taking me. We are still in 2,000. So that will take us a whole lot of time, which we don't have. So what do? You use a shortcut to highlight the entire range you want to sum or you want to do any analysis on. You highlight the entire range. I'm teaching this now because we are going to be using it so often. In fact, as long as you are working with Excel and you are working with a large data set and all that, you are going to be making use of these shortcuts I'm teaching now. These tricks, these shortcuts I'm teaching now. Please understand them, master them, learn them, master them very well. They are handy. There's nothing like I'm a pro, I can't use it. No. Experts, professionals, we use it. We use these shortcuts, these tricks. So when you click on this, you press Ctrl Shift down arrow. Hold Ctrl, hold your Shift, and then press the down arrow. What you did is to highlight the entire range. You see, if I'm looking up now, you have highlighted all the entire range from G8 to G, from G8 to G, how will I put it now? From G8 to G5,600 and something. That's what you did. Instead of holding and dragging it down, Ctrl Shift, you press down arrow. Also, if you want to highlight across, you can also do that. Ctrl Shift forward arrow. You highlight across. Now, if you want to highlight everything here, in this particular range, you want to highlight it, you can press Ctrl Shift down arrow and forward, and then still holding Ctrl and Shift, you press your forward arrow. As you can see, it has highlighted everything. It has highlighted everything. Why this is like this, remember, we freezed. That's why it's more like this. We freeze this up. So if we are moving down, the up will remain. So that's to show you why the power of that freezing. So if what we have here is that we have highlighted the entire range of these data sets. So these are shortcuts. These are shortcuts. Very important. Okay. Now another thing I want to show us is this. Let's take for example that let me go up here. Let's take for example I want to replicate what is here. The formatting, the same category. Let's say this is category. I want to have category 1 or category 2. Instead of me typing category 2, I will just press Ctrl R. Ctrl R. These are shortcuts. Ctrl R. Ctrl R. These are tricks. Shortcuts. Short tricks. So if I press Ctrl R, you can see automatically it does both the formatting, everything here. So I can easily double click here and type 2 to make my work easier for me. So with that, Ctrl R replicates what is before, forward. Then Ctrl D. If you type Ctrl D, it will replicate what is above. Ctrl D, bring up what replicates what is above. This Ctrl D replicates what is above. So if I come here, you remove this Ctrl D, it replicates what is above. So that is on the aspect of these shortcuts, how to move around your worksheet. Here, if you press Control forward arrow, it takes you to the last. Control back brings you forward. If you want, you hold Control Shift to be highlighting them one after the other. You hold Shift rather. If you want to highlight one after the other, hold your Shift and be moving. All right. Now the next thing I want to show us tonight, is almost 10 o'clock. I don't want us to stay long tonight. Tomorrow we are going to take time. We are going to take more time to do justice to these exact beginners and all that. So tomorrow tomorrow is Friday. In most of us is weekend. So I'm going to take a bit time to do justice to this. All right, we are still moving to some tricks. Please get to understand certain things I want to teach now. All right, now on this, okay, now here if you want to insert another column, just come to anywhere here, right click. I'm going to show you another shortcut, but you right click and go to insert. It gives you another column. If you right click and go to insert, it brings another column. Now let's take for example, your manager, where you are working, your manager said, please, I don't want the names to be together. I want them to be separate. I want these names to be separate. I want it to have first name and last name. And here you have, let me press Control R to duplicate what I have, and then let me remove this and type first name, for example. First name. Now, in this first name, the manager said separate them. I don't want it. You don't have to come here and now be typing them one after the other. Okay, you have to highlight the whole data set, not the whole sheet. If you want to highlight the entire sheet, you click on this. If you want to highlight all the sheet, you click on this function you are putting here. That is between 1 and A. You highlight all the sheets. But if you want to highlight the entire data set, like we have here, from product down to first name, what you do is you come here, hold Control, hold Shift, and press forward arrow. It will highlight the entire column. And then while still holding Control and holding Shift, you press down arrow. That will highlight the entire range, the entire data range that we are working with. This data is 60,000. This data set is 60,000. As we can see here, is 60,400 and something. That's this data set. So imagine you trying to highlight them manually. That way it will take you a whole lot of time. So that's what you do. If you want to select, let's say, the customer name, entire customer name, the range, hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow, it highlights all the entire customer name. And as we progress, I'm going to be teaching us Excel tables. This data set is formatted in table. As we can see here, you see table design. There are functionalities of tables. However, let me remove the table. Let me convert it from table to range. let me convert it from table to range. To convert a table to a range, just click anywhere within the table and right click, go to table to convert to range. You click on convert to range. It will ask you, are you sure? You say yes. You say okay. Now this already it will be converted to range. That is converted to range. Now our manager wants us to split this. There are, when we go to test functions, there are some functions we can use, but here is one of my best shortcuts. In fact, some of the things I'm teaching now, cohort 1 people didn't learn it. In fact, I will share this link to them to come and learn some of these short tricks. I didn't remember to teach them this. So for you to separate this first name, let's say the first name is Cole. All these first are first names. So what I will do is I can come here first and type Cole. So once I type Cole here, the next thing I'm going to do is to come below this and now press Ctrl E. Let me type it here, Ctrl E, very important. So here I will press Ctrl E. Automatically Excel will dictate the first name, all the first name here, and fill them down. As you can see, you don't need to do any work. It fills it down. Also, formally front, if you want the last name as well, you can come here and type Watson. Now, I need to use Watson to show you something now. Let's say, for example, I put the Watson in capital letter. I put them in capital letter. For example, here is in proper case, but this I typed it in capital letter, for example. Now, in this capital letter, I now press Ctrl E. Automatically, it will be capital letter. Excel will use capital letter to take the last names from the names here to replace here. So with that, easy peasy, I have separated it. What I can just do is to come here and delete this column and then move this over to this place. So let's see how we can do that. Let's see how we can do that. Follow me gradually. I'm teaching something very important, techniques that you can use to work faster as you progress in working with Excel. So what I can do is I can highlight these two. Okay, let me come here and call it last name. Let me call it last name. So I can highlight these two and press hold Control, hold Shift, and press the down arrow to highlight the entire range. To highlight the entire range, as we can see. Alright, as we can see here, to highlight the entire range. So what do I need to do? I want to move this to this place. Follow me gradually. I want to move this to this place. What do I need to do? If I take it to this place, it will ask me whether I want to replace this. Now, if I take it to this place, you see I'm replacing two things. I want to replace two columns. If I remove it, it will tell me there is already data here. Do you want to replace it? That's not what I want. I don't want to replace the marital status. It's not what I want. So what do I need to do? What I will do is to hold Shift. Follow me. Follow me, please. I will need to hold my Shift. When I hold Shift and then I drag, I move. Now when I come to this place, you see this thing will be, it shows me in this format. Wow, I made a mistake. Sorry. Control Z. What I needed to do hold my shift, move. Now let's move forward. This is where I want it to be. Now, once your cursor is, once that line is vertical, once that line is vertical, not horizontal, that's what I'm looking for. Not this line. This line will push the other ones down to replace this here. But once is this, it will shift marital status forward. It will shift marital status forward and enter. But this one will shift these ones down to enter. That's not what we want. We want it to be, we want it in a way that it will shift this forward to enter. So once it's in the vertical line, once you are seeing that thick line vertically, once you are seeing that vertical thick line, you remove your hand from your mouse, then remove from shift. As you can see, is what we have now. We have first name, we have last name, and the marital status is still there. We can now come here, right click and delete this. So our data set is now okay the way it is. We can bring this back like this and all that. Okay, now but I don't want it for now. Let me Control C to remove that stuff. So I guess you have learned how you can shift enter data in between the range so that it can shift forward or move downward. That is one of the tricks that I want you to master this night. Alright, another trick I want us to master this night is one of the tricks in data entry. Let me see in okay, control down. This is 60,000. We are going to be learning most of these functions. I use this data set for cohort 1, I think so, or one of my students, I think so, any of them. So now, let's take for example, you are entering data. You are a data entry specialist. And below this, you are entering stuff, and most of these things are repeated, as you can see here. You don't need to be typing them again. Typing them is wasting of time. Coming to copy is waste of time as well. You copy paste is waste of time. What you can do in order to show, in order to be fast. Let's say I want to put in cleaners. I want to put in cleaners. Instead of me to come here and copy cleaners and paste or type in cleaners, I will just press Alt. Alt. That's ALT. Well, when I press Alt down, it displays the unique items that we have on this range. As you can see it there, it displays them: bike racks, bike stand, bottles and cars, and then caps, cleaners, vendor, and the likes. So like I said, I want to select cleaners. I will just come here and click. It will enter. Then the next one, I can also put Alt down and then select gloves, enter, and so on and so forth. That makes our entry to be done in a faster way and very easy. I hope we are getting these things. We are getting these things. I hope we are getting these things. On my time is already 10 o'clock. Like I said, I wouldn't want to keep us. There are other tweets that I will show us. To end tonight's section, let me show us this. Is those of us who have already gotten the mastered, having known the basic and all that. Let me show us one of these basic traits. And like I said, I will tell the cohort 1 to watch this live. There are certain things I dished out here that they weren't able, I wasn't able to teach them. In cohort 3, there might be other things that I will unleash as well. That's how it is. We keep on getting better and better. Okay, let me say control down. Now let's say I want to get the total to sum up this. Let's say this is my revenue, and I want to get the total revenue. I want to quickly calculate the total revenue. Instead of me coming here to say equals to sum, type the sum, do this and that. There are certain things I can do. Since I want to calculate the total revenue, what do I need to do? I can just come and hold Alt and press equals to. Automatically Excel dictates the range. You can see that Alt equals to is displays the formula for me. Equals to sum this automatically. So the trick is to do it to the last cell. For example, let me delete this. If I do that here, it will highlight the range from here upward. So if I do that here, I said Alt equals to, you see the same stuff that he did. It highlights that from this range, wherever the numeric data stops, that's where it stops, as we can see. So that's one of the challenge of this. That's one of the challenge of that guy. So here, when I type Alt equals to, it highlights. When I now hit enter, automatically it calculates the total for me. It calculates the total for me. That's a very powerful shortcut for you. You can use the shortcut to sum up your data when you are looking, maybe a teacher, you are doing total score for your students and what have you. You can use that. One of the challenges of this is that it does horizontal, it does vertically. It does that vertically. So let's get that very, very well. Okay, and having said that, tomorrow we will be getting into charts, basic charts, and then start working with formulas and functions with basic Excel tricks and functionalities. Right now, I believe we can work with Microsoft Excel. You can easily open Excel and work with it. Enter data, bold it, increase it, and what have you, do stuff with it, do your column movement and all that. Entry, sequence, dates, and all that. When you can do your money conversion and some other stuff as regards to the basic Excel. By tomorrow, we will be taking it up further into more advanced tricks, into more advanced functionalities. By next week, we start with Excel functions. It begins to get interesting. We begin to now work with real life data projects and begin to see certain things, real life scenarios of what we can do with Excel. Right now, I'm taking my final attendance. Let me know. We are stopping here tonight. Let me know how tonight's section, what and what you learned, and then your name, your scholarship ID for the final attendance for tonight. Your name, your scholarship ID, and as well how is tonight's section. Those of us that are beginners, what and what. Like I said, whether you're a beginner or so, this is to demystify Excel. So let me get, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Thank you for that feedback. Tonight class was more enlightening for me. More tips learned aside from ones I know, and the knowledge of the total columns and rows. Beautiful, beautiful. I've been using Excel for years, but never knew what many of these things meant. Thank you, sir. Good to get that from us. Remember to drop your scholarship ID if you are part of the scholarship, your name and the scholarship ID. Thank you, sir, for explaining Excel bit by bit. That's what we promised to do, and that's what we are going to do that bit by bit and to demystify it for you to know what you are using and what you are doing. Quite interesting and impactful lecture. Good to get that from us. Good to hear that from us. That way it's an encouragement that we are doing something worthwhile. All right, your name, your scholarship ID, and your feedback, remember to drop it in the chat box. If you haven't liked the section, I will encourage you to do that. I will encourage you to like the section. Eunice, as a beginner, tonight class has been enlightening. Thank you to get that from us. Remember to hit the likes button on this section. The class was very simplified and beginner friendly. Thank you so much for that. Wonderful class. Thank you for that feedback. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow promises to be another exciting stuff. There are stuff that we are going to be unveiling. We are moving from absolute beginner, from not knowing Excel at all, into becoming Excel Pro. That's a promise we are going to fulfill by the end of 6 weeks. You will beat your chest and say, wow, I'm an Excel Pro. And that promise is what we are working towards to fulfill. See you guys tomorrow, same time, 8:15. 8:15 to, we have decided to move the class from 8 to 8:15 so as to accommodate our Muslim brothers who reached out concerning their prayers by 8. So we decided on, after further review, we said the class will now begin from 8:15 instead of 8 o'clock. So let's keep to that. Let's know that immediately 8:15 we are started. And please, I need to say this. From tomorrow, I might not be waiting. Immediately I introduce this course, I introduce myself, I move straight to what we have. So tomorrow, from tomorrow, I might not be waiting for us. Thank you guys, and see you tomorrow. Do enjoy your night. Have a wonderful night rest. See you tomorrow.